Hey guys, Captain Henson here. So in today's video, I'll be going through my Transformers fiction collection. Because I figure, why not? I was planning on doing this video eventually, but figured, why not do it now? Not to mention I'm getting back into the groove of making videos, so I figured this would be a fun one. The Alien and Predator collection video is going to be a pain because most of that collection involves single issues. A long box and a half of single issues. Anyway, so with all that out of the way, let's go through it. So, first up, and I should also say that this isn't going to be in any kind of order, because honestly, I wouldn't even know. It's just not in any kind of order. Maybe someday, but for now, it's just whatever order I chose. So, first up, got 6 of the Transformers Classics trades. Don't have 6 and 7 yet, because those two are, for whatever reason, hard to come by and really expensive, especially 6. I'll get them eventually, but for now, that's that. And for the Classics UK, I got 3 and 4. Classics UK can also get pricey, but doable. Of course, what sucks about Classics UK is that they canceled them after, I want to say, number 5, because the guy who was doing them left, which fucking blows, because that means, and this is a good segue into these digest books. So because IDW stopped collecting the UK Marvel comics, I'm gonna have to get the collections by Titan. Now, these digest books collect the black and white issues. And so I got Fallen Star, Aspects of Evil, Way of the Warrior, Perchance to Dream, and Earth Force. Now, I've noticed that these can also get pretty pricey on eBay and thrift books, so if you are going to get into the UK stuff, just keep that in mind. I don't know how much of the Definitive G1 collection... I want to say the Definitive G1 collection does collect all the UK stuff, but because that is so all over the place in terms of what it collects, just keep that in mind. I did have a list of all Transformers comics and where they were collected, but I have no idea where that list is, so in terms of other Marvel UK comics that weren't collected in the Classics UK trades, I don't know what else I need to get. And the thing about these digest books is that they don't collect the comics in order. As you can see, it has a lot of spaces. That's because, as far as I'm aware, these collect issues by story and not, order of release. And so because of that, I had to buy 3 issues, or 3 of the comics in single issue format. And so those are 198, 213, and 214. Because these were also collected in digest books. Because if I remember correctly, Titan Books did release all, or at least most of the UK run through these digest books, but these issues were collected in digest books that would have mostly been comprised of issues I would have already had thanks to the Classics UK trades. So I was forced to go on eBay and find these, and thankfully I had a seller selling all three of them. Of course, I had to pay a little extra for shipping because they were coming from the UK, which does suck, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And then going with G1 Dark Designs, which collects the first half of Generation 2. I think this is what this one is. Yeah. Of course, now, unfortunately, it doesn't collect issue 0 or the G.I. Joe issues that connect to Generation 2, so that sucks. I think they may have been collected in the definitive G1 collection volume that has G2, but I'm not sure, so I'll probably have to get those in single issues, and also issue 0. Now, I should say, I haven't started, but I do plan on getting all G.I. Joe fiction that connects to Transformers. Like, as you know, the original cartoon is in the same universe as the original Transformers cartoon, the G.I. Joe comic, set in the same universe as set in the same universe as the Transformers comic. Yeah. So when it comes to that, I will be getting that kind of G.I. Joe fiction. Now, I haven't started to yet, but I will eventually. Okay, so moving on. The 2 trades of Regeneration 1 and 4. I've noticed these also starting to go up in price, but not too bad. I think there were only like 5 trades, possibly 6, so not too bad. Now, I haven't started to read any of this. I plan on to eventually, but I'm going to wait until I have 6 and 7 to read the original Marvel run, getting, whatever else I need for the UK stuff to read all that, and then, Generation 2, Regeneration 1. So, yeah. And keeping up with Generation 1, got the 3 Viz Media manga volumes. Now, these I bought firsthand, and yeah, when I found out these were a thing, I was so excited. Because those who are getting into this franchise know that there are a ton of fiction that was only released in Japan and doesn't have any kind of English translation, fan or official. Now, over the years, the fans have been doing a pretty good job. I mean, getting Beast Wars 2nd, Beast Wars 2, Beast Wars Neo, Car Robots, etc. And also getting fans' translations of the various mangas. But it is nice here to have an official release. Now, this isn't everything. This only goes up to a certain point. I want to say it does collect all the G1 content, and it stops. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't go past Battle Stars, which is unfortunate because we still have a ton of manga to go through. But, I mean, I don't know what the behind-the-scenes stuff is like that prevents them from releasing, the Japanese-made products here. Like, you have all the anime that was never given an official English release. You got the various manga that wasn't given an official English release. Just, I don't even know why they do this. Why they make it so hard to get into this stuff. You got one of the biggest franchises of all time. One of the biggest IPs of all time. And a lot of this stuff is just so difficult to not only get, but understand. Takara and Hasbro, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, but fuck you. Okay, and the IDW Beast Wars Omnibus, which collects The Gathering, The Ascending, and the Source Book. This will be a fun read once I finally watch the Beast Wars cartoon. I don't know how much this, or if this is in the same continuity as all the 3Age, Fun Pub, Beast Wars stuff. I think it is, but TF Wiki isn't too helpful in regards to trying to find out what's in, what streams are in, the same continuity. Also, got the first trade of the Dreamwave Generation 1 comic. It'll be fun to finally get my hands on all the Dreamwave stuff since it didn't last too long in the grand scheme of things. And it was canceled. So that sucks. Also, I got this Fall of Cybertron tie-in, all about the Dinobots. I don't have much in regards to the Align continuity or the Dreamwave stuff, but I'll get there eventually. But yeah, I should say I'm really into the multiverse, deep lore side of Transformers. And the TF Wiki is is only helpful to a certain point. So just keep that in mind if you're trying to get into this stuff. Okay, next up, one of my favorite Transformers continuities, the Bayverse. And when I say that, I am really mostly referring to what was done in the IDW comics. I haven't read too much of the Titan comics outside of what was collected in the Saga of the Allspark trade. But, I'll get to that when I get to that. So I got the first two movie collection oversized hardcovers, which collect the movie prequel, movie adaptation, and Reign of Starscream. But for whatever reason, it doesn't collect the movie prequel, or the movie prequel special, which I don't understand. But luckily, you can find this cheap, but still kind of a pain in the ass. Okay. And then movie collection 2 collects Defiance, Alliance, and then the adaptation. They never made more of the oversized hardcovers, which I don't understand, because you certainly have enough content here. But I also have Tales of the Fallen, Nefarious, Sector 7, Foundation, Storm, and the adaptation. And as mentioned a bit earlier, got Saga the Allspark, which collects the first few issues of the Titan comic. I have no idea why they stopped, or why they only did one of these, because it'd be really nice to get the Titan stuff. And then you got the weird anomaly that is the Bumblebee prequel comic. One that doesn't fit into the continuity of the Bumblebee movie, doesn't fit into the continuity of the IDW comics, though it does have some connections to it. And really only works within the context of the films. You know, you can tell this was made when Bumblebee was still very much set in the Bayverse before it became its own thing. So this is like the last bit of Bayverse content we've gotten. Now, I'm a firm believer in we should definitely get Transformers, or I should say just Bayformers 6, in the form of like a book or a comic, just so we can properly close off this series and also help fix the continuity issues brought up with The Last Knight, or Age of Extinction and The Last Knight, just so we can bring back, or just so this continuity can remain strong again, because the comics did a lot of the heavy lifting for that fucking portion of the franchise. I talked about it in my video talking about these comics, so you can just refer to that. And also the 8 IDW collections. I love the format of these. You know, nice and uniformed, and also covers are just beautiful. And I'm so glad they reprinted these, because when I started buying these, some of them were out of print, especially number 2. Fuck number 2. I don't know why why people jacked up the price on this one. But like, I wish they would reprint the classic stuff. Because what the fuck, IDW? I mean, come on. Or maybe it has something to do with Marvel, I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, that's nice. I did read this first volume, and I really liked it. So whenever I get around to it, I'll, read the rest of Phase 1. Speaking of the IDW continuity, also got the first 12 volumes of the Phase 2 IDW collections. And these are still being made. I don't know how many more we'll get, so... Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait. If I remember correctly, because we are getting a Phase 3, this 12 may be the last one, or 13 is the last one. But either way, yeah, we'll be getting a Phase 3, and so a good portion of my Transformers shelf will just be dedicated to the IDW continuity, or the original IDW continuity. Alright, so moving on, got the movie guide. This was fun, written by Simon Furman, certainly the go-to guy. I'm pretty sure they made one for Revenge of the Fallen, so get that too. Okay. Yes. The only, guidebook to the overall franchise and not dedicated just a specific part of it. This one was released, I want to say 2004? Definitely early 2000s, like either when Energon was coming out or when Cybertron was coming. Some point during the Unicron trilogy. I don't know why this is the only guide we got. Something like this would have been really fucking helpful, when, with the 3H Fun Pub multiverse stuff, because, Simon Furman did have a hand in all that stuff. And I certainly lucked out. I got this for like $5 or so at my local comic shop. It goes usually for like 20, so. Okay, so now got some unofficial guides. So, Transformers, the fantasy, the fun, the future. Now, got a story behind this. This isn't my original copy. I got this one like a few months ago off of eBay because I wanted to have it again. But I got this book at my kindergarten scholastic book fair. And I didn't know too much about Transformers at that point, and I don't know if this was my first real Transformers product. But this was made this was made in preparation of the first Bay film. And it's very short, very basic, doesn't go into too much detail, but I have there's a lot of nostalgia attached to this. Because, at least for me, this was like my go-to my go-to place for information. Which, again, not a lot, because it is a very, very short book and very basic. But for a while, this was my go-to place of info. Now it's unofficial, but still, for what it is, and for a kid who didn't know too much about Transformers, it was really nice. And then got this at the Cybertronian Unofficial Transformers Recognition Guide. I've noticed that these can be pretty pricey. But yeah, this just goes through the toys. And you got a bunch of unofficial guides, because for whatever reason, Hasbro, Takara are really... well, I'll just say they don't do a lot of guides. Even though Transformers, given, how much fiction is attached to it, how many especially the toys, why they wouldn't do more guides. So, a lot of the guides you're going to find are going to be unofficial, because apparently the fans care more about this stuff than the actual companies that own the IP, which tends to be the case. But still, that's nice. The toys are not something I don't really have much interest in getting into. I care about the fiction. But still, it is nice to have a place where I can just go, see a character, and then if I want to find out more, go from there. Now, this one is interesting. Beyond the convention, BotCon Beyond the Convention. Now, for those who don't know, we were supposed to get a BotCon, albeit an unofficial BotCon, in late 2020. And this Waspinator figure from, I want to say this was Action Force. was supposed to be the exclusive figure, but obviously, thanks to COVID, that never happened. Now, I pre-ordered this, and by doing so, I also received the shirt and pin, which, pretty cool. But the reason why I was interested in getting this is because BotCon is something where I obviously missed out on, given how late into the franchise, how late into things I really got into this franchise. And so this is essentially just a one-stop shop for the stuff sold at the convention. So all the toys, all the, other pieces of stuff you could find during each year, the fiction, or at least the physically released fiction, and also the bios and stuff of the toys. It's just really, really cool. And near the end of it, you got some behind the scene, at the very least somewhere here, and also, we got some behind the scenes stuff. Like, did you know Gaia was originally going to be male? Stuff like that. And, it goes through, let's see. It goes through each era of BotCon from... each era of BotCon. Just a really, really cool to have. And again, it's unofficial because obviously the fans care more about preserving this information than the actual companies do. But yeah, this was a really nice guide to have. And it's it's a volume 1. Now, as far as I'm aware, we don't have any information regarding what future volumes would look like, what kind of information they would have. If I had to guess, we would see more of the online presence of BotCon, which would be really cool to see. It's something I would want for them to do is go into more detail on the fiction. Now, this would probably, obviously, we would get more of the online fiction if they did focus on the online stuff of BotCon. But I mean, focus more so on the behind-the-scenes stuff of, the comics, prose, script readings, or hell, give us like summaries of the script readings, the comics and stuff, just so I can have a one-stop shop place for that information. Because, I mean, yeah, I can easily just go to TF Wiki, but I just like having that information physical. But yeah, I'm definitely proud of this purchase. Okay, so next up, DVDs. So got the stuff released by Shout Factory, the original series. Love the packaging. The Blu-ray Steelbook of Transformers the movie. I did pre-order the 4K because I really want to see what this film looks like in 4K. So, yeah, I'll still keep this because I do like this artwork. And then also the Japanese collection, also from Shout Factory. And I was so lucky to pick this up, the Beast Wars Complete Series, also from Shout Factory. I lucked out because this set goes for a lot, like over $100, and I was able to get this for like $60. I mean, yeah, you can easily get, the seasons individually, but still, I just really wanted this package. One, because it just looks nice, and also, if you line it up with the other two, it just looks really nice. I wish that Shout Factory would have continued with this packaging, just so we could have this, like, really nice, uniformed lineup of all the series. But still, at the very least, we got, the G1 continuity stuff in this packaging. Okay. Though it does make me wish that Optimus Primal had a faceplate because, yeah, I'm just not a fan of him without a faceplate. Or Optimus Prime, for that matter. Well, not much you can do. And then also our Armada and Energon. Oh, and I should say I did have Transformers the movie on DVD like years ago, back in elementary school, but I've since gotten rid of it. And on that same boat, I had DVDs of Armada and Energon, but it was like, the first few episodes, like a compilation, maybe like volume ones of each. Point is, I was able to see the first few episodes of Armada and Energon. I never did watch any of Cybertron, though I did have one of the figures, funny enough. But yeah, even though the Unicron trilogy would be my Transformers, along with the Bayverse, I don't know, I pretty much just missed out on it. I was only able to watch these shows on those DVDs, but, with Shout Factory, have them released in complete series format. I still have to get Cybertron, but get that eventually. Thankfully, DVD, get these DVDs for $30.